We all have a set of guiding principles, the preconceptions and generalizations regarding fundamental issues of one's life and of the entire world. No matter where we go, no matter what we do, we tend never to abandon our beliefs. These are things Prospector believes on Rock 107.
Egg salad is still chicken salad. It's just earlier in the process. Boxed wines are Capri Suns for depressed adults. Men are more likely to know when they're dehydrated than women because they watch their own stream.
Well, now we know the reason he turned out the way he did. That was Things Prospector Believes on Rock 107.
A nearby asteroid carries $10 quintillion in precious metals. NASA is developing a mission to cash it in for a pair of Taylor Swift tickets. A truck carrying nacho cheese crashed on an Arkansas highway, spilling cheese everywhere. Concerned officials called it a worst-case scenario. Cardi B will not be charged for throwing her microphone into the crowd at a concert in Las Vegas, although now we know the B in her name actually stands for battery.
Making sure breaking news stays broken. Tune in tomorrow for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
New rules. You know, to quote Spicoli or to paraphrase him, we need some cool rules, man, and if we don't get some soon. All right, I forget the rest of the line. Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. But we need new rules at the grocery store. I mean, we're out there every week, every other week. You're going to get frustrated with the behavior of other people. And I think if we had some more rules there at the grocery store, things would be better. Here's a rule I know they tried during the pandemic, but I love it. One-way traffic in the aisle of the grocery store. Give me that rule. What's your new rule for the grocery store? That's what I want to know this morning. Aiden checking in on Twitter at Angry Prospector says, quiet hours for people that have sensory stimuli issues. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Jen, blinkers on the carts. How about you, Rock 107, new rule for the grocery store?
If they can open up every aisle, no matter how busy it gets.
Open up the aisles. I'm assuming he means the checkout aisles. Melissa says, don't park your cart in the middle of the aisle, then walk away from it and walk down the aisle. If you bring your kids, also keep them contained around you and not running around the store. We're talking about new rules for the grocery store. Mike checking in on Facebook.com/Angry Prospector says, push the cart from behind. Stop dragging it behind you while you stand next to it. You're taking up the entire width of the aisle. On to the rock lines. You tell me, what are those grocery store rules? Your rule for the grocery store.
Good morning, Prospector. How about being prepared to pay when you're done? Not standing there with your hands in your pocket or your purse on your shoulder.
I mean, you took the time to get in that line. You took everything out of the cart, item by item, put it on this conveyor belt. What do you think the next step is? Get ready.
Get ready to pay.
Rock 107.
Yo, Prospector, what's going on, brother?
You tell me, what's your one rule to make shopping better?
I hate these damn bags that leave their shopping carts in the middle of the aisle. You wouldn't park your car in the middle of the street.
That's true, because you know you get plowed into, right?
Exactly. Don't leave it there in the middle and block the traffic.
There you go. That's a great rule for the grocery store. Brian checking in on Facebook.com/Angry Prospector says, if you're stopped at an aisle, pull your cart to the side so others can pass. On to the rock lines. What's your new rule for the grocery store? Rock 107.
You know how at casinos they have girls walking around with drinks?
Yep.
There you go. The answer to your question.
Have a little waitress there or somebody to come by and give you a drink as you're grocery shopping.
Exactly. They have 10,000 checkouts and only 2 open. Have girls walking around with drinks. End of story.
And you know what? You'll probably spend more money there, too. All right. Who's this?
My name's Mike.
Mike, that might be the genius idea I've been looking for. Wally says, no double parking. Put the phones down. Your cart isn't a drift car. Look and slow down when going around corners. If you can't make a decision within 30 seconds of picking up an item, don't buy it. All right, that was more than one rule, but they were all good.
Life's pretty tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
Good news for those of us who love dogs but don't have dogs. More and more research is finding that pets are good for our mental health. Even petting other people's dogs can give you a mental health boost. That's good news for me because I do that anytime I see a dog.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107. What's a yam bag? A fool, an idiot, a blockhead, a dunce, or an ignoramus. You know, a dullard, simpleton, or a clot, nitwit, dipstick, pea-brain, mouth breather, or cretin.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, as decided by you at rock107.com.
Here are the nominees. Nominee number 1.
If you live in Middletown, Florida, just outside of Tampa, and your house is a blur on Google Maps, this might be why. A man in Florida was arrested Monday after leading the Middletown Police Department on a high-speed chase, and at the time he was driving a Google Street View car. I mean, you've seen those vehicles, right? They're mounted with a bunch of 360-degree cameras on the top of the car. The driver wasn't running from police initially. A cop just saw the car flying down the highway at over 100 miles per hour. He immediately turned on his lights to start pursuing, but the Google driver refused to stop. The high-speed chase continued for several miles before the driver eventually lost control of the car, drove through a yard and into a creek where it got stuck. The driver told police he was scared to stop. Police haven't released any other details on what the guy's deal was.
Nominee number 2.
A guy in eastern China ended up in the ER after getting a light bulb stuck in his mouth. Do not try this at home, kids. There was a dumb Facebook video a while back that claimed this exact thing could happen, though. The idea is you put a bulb in your mouth, glass first, and it can get stuck behind your teeth. Then you panic. The muscles in your face tense up, your jaw locks, and you can't open wide enough to get it back out again. Now, obviously, that glass is thin, so if it shatters, you're going to end up with a mouthful of tiny shards of glass. Doctors were able to eventually remove the bulb from the guy's mouth without breaking it, but it took some effort. He dislocated one side of his jaw during the stunt, but the man will be okay once the bulb was out. He said he'd heard about the challenge online, didn't think it was true, and wanted to see for himself.
And the winner is
the guy in China who got a light bulb stuck in his mouth. Oh, you saw it online and wanted to try it for yourself. That never ends badly. But at least you're the Yam Bag of the Day, and we'll move on to Friday's Yam Bag of the Week competition. Keep it here for all the nominees for Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, weekday mornings on Rock 107. Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.